All right. Welcome to episode 4.
Oh, dude, it's already been 4 episodes.
I know. Every time I export videos to edit, I keep putting like one episode before because I don't realize how many we filmed.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Well, technically, I guess our first episode was the 0th episode. But
Yeah.
who do we have here, Paul?
Yeah, we have Mr. Douglas Edge.
Doug Douglas Edge. That's what they call him.
Yeah, that's a power name, Mr.
yeah.
Edge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go by Mr. Edge to anybody?
Mr. Edge. No, I don't think anyone calls me Mr. Edge.
Yeah. What about like the people who call you about your car insurance, like Mr. Edge?
Like the scammers?
Am I speaking to Mr. Edge?
Yeah.
I feel like they say like Mr. Douglas or something.
Mr.
I don't know.
Douglas.
Mr. Douglas.
Well, welcome to the podcast. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. Doing well.
Yeah.
Doing very well.
What have you thought about our previous podcast episodes?
I've enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed them. I've been eagerly awaiting each one and been enjoying them in my free time.
Are you looking forward to coming onto the podcast?
Yeah, I think mostly looking forward.
Mostly looking forward.
Yeah, no,
A
that's
little bit
good.
of apprehension, but it should be good.
So you'll know from our previous episodes what Paul and I's intention of the podcast was, but do you have any goals for today's interview / podcast? Anything you want to tell the world about yourself or anything you want to talk about?
Absolutely not. I approach this like I approach most things, which is with no expectations.
Whoa, that's kind of grim, but okay.
Yeah, that's dark.
At least it's a low bar for us to beat.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
All right. Yeah, well, let's start from, ground zero.
Yeah.
How do we know Doug, where we met him? I guess I can go first because mine's probably more recent, but it was Friendsgiving and Vanessa invited Doug and myself. I think for both of us, it was our first time.
Meeting each other?
No,
I'd hope so.
going over to Vanessa's
Okay,
place.
okay,
Yeah. Had you been to Vanessa's place prior?
Friendsgiving. I'm sure I'd been over there before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wasn't
I
your
think
first
so.
time in her house.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty confident I've been over there a couple times before. I mean, I had been over to her old place, and then I had been over to the new place, I think, a couple times before Friendsgiving, I think.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
and
just you.
yeah, I guess I was the newest person there.
I guess so.
But yeah, I mean, Doug worked with Ruth very briefly. I think Ruth was having a hard time trying to recall who Doug was. When Vanessa was like, "Oh, I invited Doug," and Ruth was like, "I think I know him. I'm pretty sure that would be Doug."
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. No, because the overlap between the times you guys were working at the same company was very brief.
Yeah, that was like she started in January,
January.
and then you left that company around April?
It was the end of May. Yeah.
May?
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was the time when a lot of people were leaving.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Doug
Yeah.
was just one of the many.
I think I'm pretty forgettable, especially when you think about work, right? When it comes to work, I'm pretty head down. I was super busy and super focused on my work and really didn't spend a lot of time mingling. So I'm not surprised.
I feel like at least the people I knew, a lot of them got to know you. Don't worry, I didn't forget you, Doug.
But even you, right? We didn't spend a lot of time together in the office.
Yeah, maybe not in the office, but I knew of you. We talked sometimes. There were interactions that Doug will never forget that we had.
Like what?
There may or may not have been a time where I confronted one of Doug's close office friends asking if Doug was leaving the company because I had heard through the grapevine that may be the case.
Oh man.
And I got a G-chat ping from Doug saying, "Give me your phone number." And that was like one of my first interactions with Doug.
What was that for?
So
you could just confirm for him offline, or
no, so that he could tell me to stop spreading rumors.
So I could intimidate him.
It didn't work, but it was a valiant attempt.
man. So you guys didn't really know each other then?
Well, so in our starting batch, obviously we were in like our product was separated by modules. So I was not in the same module as Doug, but a lot of
Okay.
my like cohort and starting batch and people I made close friends with were. Some of them even directly reported to Doug, and he was in charge of their day to day.
Whoa.
So I maybe got more insight into Doug than he got into me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Man.
That's fine. That's fine with me. I don't need to know everything about everybody.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Doug, I guess, have you always lived in Houston?
Oh no, I've not. Past few years, but before that, I mostly didn't. I lived here maybe a summer before that, but yeah, I've mostly been elsewhere in Central Texas.
Gotcha.
It's interesting. I think me and you are like outside of Hero because he's in school. Are probably the only people that are not remote, right?
Sure.
By
Yeah. No,
circumstance?
that's fair. Yeah. We're tied to this location.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for our livelihoods, but yeah, I
Other
mean,
positions are like flexible. You can move around, but we're for sure stuck here.
yeah, which is why Doug, you even like renewed your lease like a month or two back, like, but you made the active choice to stay in Houston. Why is that? What's
I
keeping you here?
I want to torment you guys' lives for a little while longer.
That checks out.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, I mean, I think having friends here is a big deal because wherever else I go, I'm not going to have the same group of friends. I'm not going to have as many friends as I have here. I think cost of living is a big deal because when I start thinking about moving somewhere, I'm thinking about paying for it. I'm thinking about the difference in what I'll be able to
BSF,
save.
like Chicago, New York type places.
Yeah, any one of them. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot more expensive, and so therefore I'm paying for that experience. Is that experience more valuable to me by that degree? And I'm talking about having to make a totally new group of friends while working remote. There's some challenges to that, and are those challenges I want to take on for that cost? I do not know.
So on that, I know that you recently moved out of a roommate ship, I guess. You previously were in an apartment with a roommate, and now you're by yourself. Is this your first time living in an apartment by yourself?
No, it's not. A couple years ago, I lived by myself in an apartment in Houston.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that. So why the switch and switch back?
Well, the switch. So originally, it was temporary because when we were in the office, returning to the office in my last role, we didn't know how. I didn't really know what the schedule was going to be like, how long I was going to be, how long we were going to be. It was just very up in the air when we returned to the office. So much so that like many people did not return to the office despite us being requested to. So I think that was like, I'm just going to stay here as long as I need to, stay with my friend. And then as his lease ran out, and then as I was still here coming into the office, it was like, okay, let's do, by that time I had a new job.
You already had
in which I was
Oh.
remote.
Okay.
But by that time, I had lived with him a few months, and he, I think, wanted me to stick around, and I didn't mind. I enjoyed that situation, so I thought we could get a nicer place, and yeah.
And then you made the decision to move back by yourself.
Right.
Why'd you break up with him?
Yeah. How'd you deliver the news to him?
Well, I think that so we ended up having pretty different lifestyles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of more wanted to do what I wanted to do and have my situation be more the way that I wanted it to look.
So you hit him with the it's not you, it's me.
No, I didn't. I didn't really explain it to him that way. I think we both had the understanding. So his understanding was more, he wants me to have this experience. He wants me to be by myself and experience being by myself and see what that's like. He wanted the independence for me.
I've never heard that message
Yeah, I
come
don't
from a roommate before.
Maybe like a parent.
Yeah. It's like you try living by yourself. See how you like it.
And then come back to me.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that. But you're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
You don't wish you had a roommate or anything like that?
No, not really.
Mhm.
Not really. No, I think it's preferable for me to not. There's cost savings if you do, but for me, I'd rather not if I can afford it.
So since you live by yourself now, I guess, how do you fill your time? Or have you started new hobbies?
I think no, I haven't really started any new hobbies because the same hobbies I was trying to pursue when I was living with a roommate, I'm still trying to pursue now. I'm just able to spend more time on those.
What are those? What are those hobbies?
Well, so cooking is one.
Oh.
Okay.
Still cooking. I mean, and being by yourself makes cooking easier.
Really? I think cooking for one is the hardest
Yeah, I
thing
think
to
so
do.
too.
Well, portion-wise, yeah, sure. It is harder to, but I just save a lot of food and eat it over the course of a week. But, I mean, just having access to the kitchen at all times, not having interruptions, for me, that makes that easier. It makes all things easier not having interruptions, being able to plan a schedule and actually, follow it without having random interruptions. Cooking is one. Keeping up a regular workout schedule, going to the gym a couple times a week. That's another. I think that, reading is a hobby. Watching shows and movies, play video games. That's a hobby. I think, climbing.
Which you haven't been really doing lately.
Which I do less of than some of those other hobbies. You could say the same about tennis.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Jeez, I really need to run. Yeah.
But also, I guess another hobby, another topic. I think a hot topic actually. Going on dates, right? That must be easier living by yourself than with a roommate.
Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah? Why? Do you guys feel more self-conscious when you guys have a roommate asking where you're going?
No, I don't know. It's just you're out of the house, and if you're bringing people over, it's obviously worse when you have roommates.
Oh. The assumption here being you bring people back.
He's jumping to the last chapter of the book here.
But hey, man, you can platonically bring people over as well. I think it's easier to have guests when you're by yourself. You can host things on your own accord. You can just have people over to watch a game.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about if everyone in your house is in agreement. Just hosting in general.
Yeah, just hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why that elicited such a reaction from.
We're talking about going on dates.
yeah,
That's
no,
not
it
platonic.
was for me. It was more now that the house is empty.
Okay. I mean, you get more flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Would you disagree?
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, no, I agree.
We're all on the same page here.
Since you don't have a roommate, then it must be easier for you to go on dates too, right, Paul?
I have my own challenges.
Name them.
Yeah. Something that you guys have in common
What's that?
that the rest of the group doesn't really, or I guess, yeah, it's that you guys are both single.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Which is strange to me. Usually, growing up, it's always been I have more friends who are single than in relationships.
Yeah.
But now being single is a minority in our group.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
This is the time of my life where I'm getting invited to weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just whoa, hold on.
Who do you take for your plus one?
I don't take a plus one.
You don't take
I
a
mean,
plus-
most of the weddings I'm going to are just friends, I feel like they know me in the capacity of just me. So they're, they send me that little envelope and I'm just yeah, I'm good by myself.
Ooh. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, if they ask me, then I haven't in the past brought anyone. Sometimes they just invite me and make it clear, don't bring a plus one.
Man. Yeah. I mean, do you guys feel that divide? Like, oh, they're not single, I'm single kind of thing when we're hanging out in a group?
I don't think in a group. I think sometimes I think about it. Definitely like not in the context of like hanging out with friends. I mean, yeah, no, not really.
I think no. Not anymore. I maybe did at one point in the past. There may have been a time where it was more obvious than it is now. But I think presently, no.
I think it's more
I
just like
don't.
having like life figured out, you know, for me. I don't know if it's the same with you, but it's like people have like check boxes, right? They're like, oh, I want a good job. I want to be happy in my job. You know, I want to find someone, gonna get married, you know, XYZ. And you have like this checklist. So to see like people like similar age as you, like having more of those check boxes makes you sometimes feel like you're running behind. I don't know. And maybe that's just like self-ingrained, like being competitive, which is like, I can never be behind.
Jeez, competitive.
No, but like it's a mindset, right? It's like you feel like you're behind,
Oh, okay.
even if you're not. I mean, it takes getting used to. So now I'm like comfortable, but like maybe, yeah, same in the past. I felt like, you know, what's wrong? Like, why am I wrong?
Oh no, I meant it more in the context of like when we're hanging out, you think of like, oh, my friend is Paul, and Ruth is with Paul, or you know, like being someone's girlfriend, being someone's wife, like, or being someone's partner. You think of them not as their own as their own individual, but as an extension of somebody else, like this person's partner,
No, I think of everyone pretty individually.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the better things about our group, where it's not like, oh man, you're bringing your
Yeah,
girlfriend.
If Paul comes climbing, where's Ruth? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think maybe I thought that way once about the group. Like when I first got to know you, because I knew Ruth before you.
Oh yeah.
I would just,
Yeah.
it would definitely be weird to interact. It's just like, oh, you're just Ruth's, you know.
Right, yeah. And I think that's what makes the group more fun or more sustainable, because I guess we don't feel obligated
Yeah.
to include someone. It's like okay, yeah, sure, you can bring them along. Yeah, the benefit here being that we know everyone in like an individual capacity. So we're just like, yeah, I'm friends with them and I'm friends with them. Yeah.
I think it's funny. I was talking about this podcast to some of my friends at work, and I was just like, at the beginning, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this podcast with Ruth's husband. Or like using rhetoric like that.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's like that many degrees away.
Yeah. I'm like, who's Ruth again? But yeah. No, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't think that's definitely a positive of a friend group. Like everyone is very individual in our friend group. There's no like, what is it, like codependency, multi-dependency.
That's true. You feel that way too, Doug?
Yeah, without a doubt. We're all close enough where that's the case.
Yeah.
Like Vishal said, when I first met you, obviously, I'm thinking of you as Ruth's husband. When I first met Hero, I'm thinking of him as Vanessa's boyfriend.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just Hero and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hero and Paul.
Yeah.
I find myself debating you a lot on definitions. I feel like this is a point of contention between us, quite commonly, actually.
You know, the strongest debate I recall between you guys, it was about how you pronounce a name of a League of Legends character.
Really? You remember something like
I
that?
don't remember that. What was?
I mean, you guys are pretty plastered, so maybe you guys don't recall, but
Oh.
but you guys were like getting heated about like how to pronounce it, and also if it was racist.
Can you remind us of the champion's name?
It was Xin Zhao.
I don't think I would have debated this.
You guys were.
Oh,
First it was about pronunciation, and the second it was if it was racist.
So he definitely started the debate, didn't he? There's no way I would start a debate on Xin Zhao's name or whatever it is.
He just said the name differently than you. Do you need to debate him?
No.
See, I'm not the one who starts debates.
Oh, interesting. I find, no comment there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, this is something we actually talked about in the first episode. A lot of the times, like, you find contention with people when they exhibit similar characteristics to you. So to that matter, maybe Doug and I are similar. Any thoughts? Do you think you're similar to me, or do you think you're completely different?
I think we have similarities, yeah. I don't think I'm completely different. I think we do have a lot of similarities.
Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that's a bad thing?
Ooh. I think it's good. I think it's mostly good. Or mostly neutral.
Mostly new.
I think I get along with all people.
When you usually find someone who shares your characteristics, your personality, you feel like you become better friends with them, or you...
Yeah, I usually date that person.
Oh.
Just haven't got Michelle to come around yet.
Interesting.
No.
What kind of show is this? Someone get me off the podcast.
I was just gonna ask, what kind of girl is Doug's type, and I didn't know Doug was looking for Doug.
No, I think someone who shares more of my qualities. I usually am more drawn to that person, I think.
Interesting. Do you think that's like your ideal, or do you think like and you may like throw it out the window when you meet someone, or is that like something you like very strongly look for?
Okay, just for the record, I'm speaking in
I mean either
dating.
friends
I'm
or
speaking about friends, yeah.
Either way.
In general,
Yeah.
Of course.
No, I mean I try to get along with all people, and I do recognize when someone is more like me, I think. Or at least more like what I'm trying to be, or what I try to be.
So in the friend group, do you think I'm the most similar, or do you think there's someone that is more similar to you? And then while you're thinking about that, also, do you think that there's someone who you think you're the least similar with?
I think okay, I'm just thinking, because I feel like you both are more similar to me than the other members of our friend group. Personally, I feel that way.
I'd agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think probably Paul is probably more like me than Vishal is.
Interesting.
I know what qualities you're thinking we share.
Uh-huh.
But I think when I think about how Paul acts, I feel like it's more in line with how I act.
Interesting.
In a general sense.
What about least similar?
Least similar. Probably. Oh man, that's tough. We have some really unique friends, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's two people I'm thinking of right now.
Okay.
But they're very different
Yeah.
in how they act.
You gonna drop the name?
One of them-
We're gonna have to find out next time.
Do you want a cliffhanger?
I'm hungry to know.
Yeah.
So one of them is very quiet,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is not very quiet. He's very talkative.
He's very talkative. So you think
Hero
Hero and Newton?
is very quiet, and Newton is very outgoing.
So you think you're the least similar with them? Interesting. I feel like if I had to say
yeah.
something, I would say you're like the least similar to Cam. But also, I don't know anyone that's similar to Cam, and I can say that because Cam doesn't watch our podcast.
Oh yeah, I am pretty dissimilar to Cam probably.
Man, yeah. If you told me that, we could talk so much more about Cam.
This will be our litmus test. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cam, type in the group chat. I watched the clip. If you watched the clip,
She told you she didn't watch?
yeah, she did. She said that she would only watch it if they were in like clips because she can't sit down and watch our whole podcast because
Man,
we're
is she
boring.
an iPad kid?
Probably.
We gotta put like a Minecraft speedrun video in the corner.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that'll be my goal when I'm editing reels. I'll put like the little Minecraft like parkour clips. Yeah.
I mean, okay, no, that's it's always a hard question
Yeah.
to answer because we're all so different anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess in that vein,
But for the record, I'm very curious to know what you guys' answers to the same question would be. We don't have to answer that now, but I'm
No, I think
very
it's worth
curious.
talking about. Like I think I definitely say I think you're more similar to me than I'd find you similar to Paul.
I see he
No,
sees himself in you.
okay. I meant similar. I meant for you're the most
Oh.
similar person to
I think
you.
we've answered this question.
Have you?
I have a hard time answering it just
Mhm.
because it's not the way I think about people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In terms of like similarity.
or no, I think of people of who's like me.
Uh-huh.
I never think of like who's
Dissimilar?
the most different.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question. That's why I ask people this.
Yeah.
Especially in like group dynamics, because you get to see people act in like different capacities. Like if you just met someone one-on-one, I think it'd be very difficult to tell how similar or dissimilar you are, because people act differently surrounded by different people, right? Like I think that's pretty defining.
Mhm.
So I think it's cool because what does it mean to be different than somebody? There's like so many different aspects of a person that you can't say someone is like the polar opposite of you. Like that term I don't think exists.
Yeah. I'm a dude, so I should probably pick a girl. Right?
Yeah, stuff like that, right? I mean, like, it's something in your brain when you ask someone if they're dissimilar than another person, picks out a quality that they think is so starkly different, and it's interesting to see what that quality is. So, like, one thing you mentioned, which was interesting, is you talked about someone you characterized them as being very quiet and very talkative, and that's what you chose. Like, so that isn't what differentiated them from you, but it's a thing that you use to differentiate other people, right?
Well, it's part of something that differentiated them from me. When I'm comparing them to myself, I only have to go off of the way that they present themselves outwardly to other people,
Yeah.
right? Which isn't usually in a group dynamic, but it's whether it's in a group or not, it's always in public, right? It's always, so I think that is certainly a part of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think I'd say I'm like off of what I'm currently feeling, like I'm very dissimilar from Vanessa. Because like we talked about this last week, like the fact that she can go into like uncertainty and like not worry is like I can't even fathom that concept.
So are you very type A?
I don't think it's being type A. I think it's just being worried. Like it's anxiety rather than need for control. Like it exhibits parts of type A. Yeah, I'll agree. But I think that the concept that I can't fathom is just like let's say like tomorrow I got fired, I would spiral.
All right. To be fair, I think anyone would spiral.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But Vanessa, I feel like wouldn't have spiraled. Given the position she was in. Like she'd thought about it, like to come to the realization that you want to like leave your position without another position takes something else.
That's true, but I would chalk that up to the company, not so much her.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, but either way, like you grow.
Okay, yeah. I mean, your perception. So yeah, very dissimilar from Vanessa would be your thought. For myself,
because I want to see how it changed, because you initially chose me because you thought I was dissimilar for the podcast.
Yeah. I thought, I think the way you and I approach things are a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way we think through things. Yeah, so when I say we're different, I don't mean like we don't find the same things funny or we don't agree on certain things. It's just like when we perceive a situation, the way that we kind of navigate that. Yeah. I
think I agree with that.
Yeah, like the biggest thing is like I don't think I'm as introspective as Vishal. Like I don't analyze my emotions that much, or like when I make a decision, I never go beyond like, do I want to, do I not want to? I never go all the way down to like, and where does this stem from? Like,
okay.
What does this? What part of me is I guess influencing this choice? Yeah, I never go all the way down like that, which probably is to my detriment. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's detrimental. I think introspection is like just a different way to analyze things. Like I think you're probably more analytical than I am when you come down to like determining if something is worth it. You'll probably crunch numbers over emotions like any day of the week.
Oh yeah. But again, there's some choices in life that are emotion driven.
Yeah.
And for those, I don't really go deeper into thought.
Fair enough.
Yeah. For those, it's like, yeah, or nah. I don't feel like it.
You go off vibes.
Yeah, it's like my marriage. That was a
Yeah.
vibe check, honestly.
You vibe checked your partner.
I'm kidding.
You were like, you had the ring in your back pocket, and you were like, dude, bad vibes.
Yeah, no, I got the ring. I was like, how do I feel about this?
You're like, is it too late to back out?
No, it's like, oh, this is pretty easy. Okay, this is good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but for me, I think something I'm more curious about from Doug is, what is something that you dislike in a person? Like a trait that you see them exhibit and you're
Like
just like, we probably won't be good friends.
Like you wouldn't talk to them, or like you wouldn't try to be friends?
Like you just don't enjoy their company.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, I think the most glaring trait is probably the most cliche thing I could say here, but I think it's true, is arrogance. I think arrogance in a person is a hard thing to want to spend more time around. But I feel like that's kind of cliche. I mean, it makes everyone look good when they're like, oh, I don't like arrogant people. That implies they're not arrogant. But yeah.
No. If anything, if you ask Ruth, she will say I'm the most arrogant person she knows.
Yeah, I think that checks out. No, I think there's like a difference definitely between arrogance and bravado. I think you own most of the things you're arrogant about.
I think it's a lack of not being self-conscious about yourself, or just being unaware.
So like if you saw someone who was unaware of their...
Yeah, it's like the biggest thing is if someone can make fun of themselves. That's usually like the clear like litmus test of are they self-aware.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if they can't do that, then they might have an ego problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah. I think you have to be able to deal and dish. Or what is it? Be dealt and dish. Like if you're gonna say something about other people, you have to be ready to take it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like the number one scenario in which I would dislike a person is if like they just like deal all the time.
They just talk crap about everybody?
Yeah, they talk crap about everyone, and then like the moment, like even if it's like in a joking way, like if they're joking about other people, sure I can appreciate that, but if you can't like take the joke back, like and you take it way too seriously.
Oh yeah. Like I start sulking. Yeah. I get all.
Where they like make you feel bad for saying things. Like, I'm like, what just happened here? Like I definitely knew people like that. I think we talked about this too. It was like there are some people where like if you're in the wrong, they'll make you feel like trash. And the moment they're in the wrong, they'll start deflecting.
Oh yeah. The oopsie.
Yeah, the oopsie.
The oopsie.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's bad. I agree. That stuff gets on my nerves too.
Yeah.
It's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
All
right. Where do we want to go from here? Doug, is there I think one question that I really liked asking other guests is like, what motivates you these days? Like, why do you wake up?
The way I'm motivated, it's like I make a decision, and then once I make a decision, I stick to that decision. That's always the way I act. And so when it comes to most anything, I kind of decide at some point, this is good for me. This is what I need to be doing. And then at that point, it becomes my habit. It's like, I know that I should be doing this. I made that decision already. So when you say what wakes me up every day, I've already made the decision that this is important and I need to be doing this, and I just do these things.
So then I guess in a similar vein, but also dissimilar, like what inspires you? Because like I get that. Motivation is definitely driven by your own wants, but like something must be like what you're working towards.
Yeah,
like,
the end goal.
Yeah, like when you decide that something is good for you, what is it good for? Is it for becoming like what is the idea that you're striving for?
So when I said I came on this podcast with very few expectations, that's kind of the way I set goals in my life too. I generally don't set a very specific, like, I want to be this. I want to make this much. I want to be in this role. I want to be doing in this place, doing this thing. I usually, I have very few goals in my life, and they're not very concrete. Like, be a better person.
Okay.
That's a goal, and it's not, doesn't carry with it specific things, but it's always informing my actions.
Interesting. So I think, let me even generalize the question from there, because I've seen a way people ask this question. Do you think you want to be successful, happy? Like, because I don't think the two are necessarily the same thing. Like, are one of these like the images, like you said, like the best, like a good man or whatever? Like, how are you contextualizing that? Is that like being successful, like optimizing for happiness?
No, even from there, just like, what does success
Yeah,
look
like
like
what does
then?
success mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah. When I think about what I want to have accomplished when I die, the only thing that I really can confidently say I want to have accomplished, the only true goal that I have is to have been a good person. And I know that the question that follows is, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a good person? But like, to be to follow the morals that I hold, right? To be honest, to be caring, to be compassionate, to be serving, to be all these things, right? These are the things that, regardless of everything else I know, are in my control. And those things, and they will remain in my control. And for that reason, that's the only real goal that I have. Do I want to be successful? Do I want to be happy? Yes, I do. Do I want to do things that make me happy? And do I want to, I want to experience new things. I want to learn. I want to, meet interesting people and, give myself a breadth of experiences in this life. Yeah. This is like what our first date would be like if we ever went through with the date thing.
Oh
If
my
we're gonna be
Really?
sharing our,
This heavy?
this heavy, right?
Is this what your first dates are normally like?
Yeah, this is. I just dump it all, and
And if
then they
come
dump
back-
me. No. So when I was growing up, I'm a big football fan in general,
Mhm.
American football, and
Man, I almost respected you there.
so I take a lot of, when it comes to like setting goals and accomplishing things, I take a lot of inspiration from successful football players or coaches or whatever it is. And yeah, what I've seen in those guys is they don't take time to celebrate their accomplishments until they are at the end of the road,
Mhm.
until they're done competing or they're done working at their craft. Until that point, they're focused on the next thing, and they get to that thing, and then they set their mind on the next thing. And so I always try to emulate that. I never celebrate my accomplishments until I've done it, until I'm done. And so, yeah, I don't
So
dwell
when
on
are you
those.
done?
Yeah, like have you celebrated?
Did you celebrate
Usually
this
when
morning?
people force me to celebrate. When people make me celebrate, then I'll celebrate. Did I celebrate this morning? Yes, I made a delicious bowl of cereal today.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta set small goals. Like, I'm gonna get 8 hours of sleep.
Oh man.
Yeah, when's the last time you accomplished that one?
I don't think my body is capable of doing that anymore. It's forgotten how to get 8 hours. 8 hours.
So any plans to move out of Houston?
Not at the moment.
No?
No.
You like
I
where
mean,
you are?
I think if this friend group dissolves, then there's going to be a lot less keeping me here. But I know there's going to be other people here by that time. My brother wants to move here. I don't know. It's just
Oh man, are we gonna meet Doug's brother?
Is your younger brother?
yeah.
Oh.
Are you the middle child or the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Oh.
Oldest of three, right?
Oldest of three.
Yeah,
Wow.
3 boys.
Good memory, Paul.
Yeah, just Doug and the boys.
Doug
This is
and the
another thing we
boys.
didn't talk about. When Paul was first starting to get to know you, He asked you a lot of questions, like an uncanny amount of questions. You almost knew everything about Doug's life in that instant.
Okay.
Oh, I remember. He asked me about
To
breakfast.
be
huh?
to be fair, when I was younger, like I would generally just like to ask people questions about themselves.
Yeah.
And I would remember the details.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever got that treatment.
That's true. That's true. And
you like hyper scrutinized Doug's life
yeah,
specifically.
no, that's true because I always forget that Vishal has a younger brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I would remember these details and I would bring it up at a later time. And the people, they'd just be like creeped out. They'd be like, why do you know this? Yeah. But man, I don't know why I retain the things that I do.
That's good though. I envy that.
Yeah, like, do you know Doug's favorite fast food restaurant order?
No, I do know his favorite fast food place, which
We can drop that one on the podcast if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, he's like, when you're in Bryan, go.
oh, you want Tex-Mex? Let me recommend this amazing place. The first word is taco,
Second word is bell.
and you'll recognize it because they have the classic colors of purple.
Yeah, you know his profile picture on Discord is the Taco Bell logo.
Oh, jeez. You know, I wanted to play a game with Doug, and it was just like, you know, this was a trend on social media a while back, but it was like, they start off by saying like, she's a 10, but
Yeah.
blank. Yeah. So the premise being that there's a one trait in the woman of your dreams that would kind of make or break whether she is the woman of your dreams. So Doug, she's a 10, but she hates Taco Bell, and she kind of stops you from eating it too.
Ooh.
Wait, what do you mean kind of stops me?
She stops you.
Yeah, she stops you.
She stops me?
Yeah,
She
there's
says
no
I
kind
can't
of
eat Taco Bell?
stopping you.
She says you're not allowed
Yeah.
to eat it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
she's
she says it
leaving you.
grosses her out. She's gonna throw up every time she sees you eating it.
So I can just eat it when I'm not around
No,
her?
she'll leave
No,
you if
no,
you eat
yeah,
it.
she'll smell it on you.
She'll smell it on me.
She finds the Taco Bell receipt. She's going like bananas on you, bro.
Okay. She's definitely not a 10. She is not a 9. She's not an 8,
Oh.
7, 6.
Really?
I think she's probably a 5.
Man, don't take it lightly when I call somebody a 10
Yeah.
and say that the only distinguishing factor is that she
Okay.
hates Taco Bell.
But that's kind of
So like if Taco Bell went out
really.
of
You
business,
hate Taco Bell this much. You're
Yeah.
gonna prevent me
like
from
Taco
eating
Bell
it
put her parents
ever?
out of business.
Oh.
Like she has some bad blood with Taco Bell, and also she thinks the food is gross.
If she can explain it in a way that's really elicits some sympathy from me, then maybe we can go to a. Come on, look. In a relationship, there's a lot of give and take. This is not so much of a give to say I'm gonna let my husband or my boyfriend or whatever eat Taco Bell.
I
That's
know, which
not
is
so
why
bad.
it's so strange that you won't give it up.
Which is why I think it's insane to insist on it.
Like if I mean, obviously I did marry my 10, and she told me one day, no more McDonald's, I would say okay. Yeah. Like
Really?
there's so many other things.
You're not gonna think it's a little strange that she's saying I won't let you eat McDonald's
You can think
ever.
It's strange for sure.
I think it's stranger that I eat McDonald's, honestly. It's kind of gross. Yeah. If anything, if she said, please stop eating McDonald's, I'd be like, oh my gosh, she cares about me.
What if she said stop eating salads?
Salads?
Yeah, stop eating healthy.
Oh, but see, that's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this context
Oh,
of
fair
fast
enough.
food, the fast food is
So she's
negative.
like saving you, and
Yeah, she's trying to save your life. Like you eat way too much Taco Bell. I say this as a friend also.
So she's saving my life, and they ruin her parents' business, and she has such an intense
yeah, so
sense
what
of
is she
smell.
now?
She can smell it on my
She's like
blood
she's got
cells.
superhuman smelling too.
Yeah. This is like young Batman or something. This is like an origin story.
Yeah. But you're saying she wouldn't be a 10. You need your
She would.
you need your
no.
Taco Bell.
If she, well, look, I don't know.
The man
If
has
she-
spoken.
If she,
He's spoken. Yeah,
I could give up Taco
I don't know why I'm
Bell.
trying to redeem him here.
I could give up Taco Bell, but I would put up a fight.
Wow.
You'd really abandon your values that easily.
I can't believe you gave it up that easy. I was joking about McDonald's. No way, bro.
Rip.
Yeah. Anything interesting you as of recently? Anything new in the world of Doug?
Yeah. Or something that you thought about driving over while you're driving over, or when you take a shower, what do you think about?
Yeah. Any crazy shower thoughts?
Oh man, you guys know how forgetful I am. Anything I think of in the shower would be gone
Stays
before I get out of the shower. It stays
In the shower, just down the
yes,
drain.
sir.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I spent the weekend around music, so I've been thinking about music a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's religion. Did have a lot of good religious conversations with the folks I was over there with.
At ACL?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are.
I mean,
Doing
while
God's-
while tripping, where you're just like, what do you think God thinks?
He's like, God loves me.
You know, I was staying with my old roommate
Uh-huh.
from college.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Were you big in the church scene in college?
No, not
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Not big. I treat church like I treat a lot of things. I just do my own thing. I get in, I get out.
Yeah.
You know, we actually have like a higher frequency of like religious people in this friend group than I initially thought.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
In
Like,
my experience, compared to the rest of Texas, like our
rest of
friend group-
Texas, sure,
yeah, our
but I
friend
think
group is like relatively agnostic.
like empirically, I think I've met more of my friends have not been religious than in this friend group. Because we'll say like Doug is religious, Ruth is religious, Kim is religious.
Oh, she is?
She's Buddhist, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like that's like what, like 3 out of 7,
3
8?
out of 8? I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Most of my friends are not religious.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, from college. No, actually, I lied. Some of them are.
There's a lot of Christian Korean people.
Yeah, Christians and Koreans, they kind of go hand in hand usually. Yeah. And especially at the place of my work in Texas, everyone's religious.
Yeah.
It's like, it's safer to assume they are
Than
than they
not.
aren't. Yeah. So, if anything, I think of us as an anomaly, actually.
Maybe.
Yeah. What do you think, Doug?
I think so. I think you guys are sinners. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
Maybe,
kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding. I know, definitely don't think that way. No. Yeah, no. I mean, I come from... So this group, demographically, is very different from any group I would have been in at any point prior to now. So any... Yeah, college, before college, all of that. A lot more religious people where I'm from than... probably the folks I'm around now.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. Like, I don't mind it one way or the other. I do my own thing anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of the time, just completely randomly, when we went to In-N-Out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Doug showed up like he'd just gone to work, and
Well, he went to church.
yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
He came to In-N-Out, and he pretended like we didn't know.
Yeah.
Like we didn't ask him to come.
Yeah, I
in.
pretended like I just happened upon you guys there.
Oh, like your service just finished next door, and you're just like doing a quick in and out run before heading home.
I heard. I wanted to talk to you about that. I heard you walked into the In-N-Out,
Oh, yeah.
saw that I wasn't there, and then you walked out of the In-N-Out.
No, is that what he told you?
No, it's like I what I saw from my car was Doug went into In and Out, and he
said,
just
"Where's
walked
Michelle?"
out. He just walked out. He started walking back to his car, and Ruth was like, "Does he think he's at the wrong In and Out?"
And then we
Yeah.
walked back into In-N-Out,
Yeah.
and you pretended like you were just there of your
Didn't
own
I
accord.
tell you what
yeah,
that was
and
about?
yeah, that's the weirdest thing. You were already there. You were
Yeah, I
inside.
was inside.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, maybe Doug didn't see Vishal.
I went back. I went back to look for him in my car. Like, where did I put him in this thing? Is he in
Yeah.
the trunk?
So tell us what actually happened that day. Did you have like
I-
an In-N-Out coupon in your car?
I
or
had
something?
gift cards. Yeah.
Dude, I thought like social anxiety hit him so hard that he was like, I'm just going to wait in my car instead of wait in this restaurant and look like I'm a loner.
In his full church and tie, or was it suit and tie?
No, it was a polo and just
Yeah,
pants.
just
and
normal church
brown
clothes.
pants. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go that hard.
Your
Not
Sundays-
for Sunday
And
church.
No Sundays best. No.
I'm not wearing a suit to church.
don't people usually like link up at church?
What does that mean?
Like find partners? Because usually that's
Oh.
where their like values and morals kind of align the most.
I've heard of that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I've seen that. Not in my church.
Oh, okay. Is it
I'm a
smaller,
Catholic.
larger?
I'm a Catholic, so
Does
I don't.
that change it?
I think it changes it a little bit. I think there's a lot more socializing at Protestant churches. I think when I'm comparing it to Protestantism, I don't know about other religions, but when I think of Catholicism, is definitely not. There's not as much of an emphasis on
community.
social
Oh.
activities. You know, at a Protestant church, you might have. Well, growing up, my experience was. I'd go to like with a friend to their church. You'd have church on Sunday morning, then you'd have like Bible study immediately after.
Uh-huh.
Then you might have another event Sunday night, and then you'd have like a Wednesday night Bible study, and a lot of opportunities to visit with people. But whereas Catholicism, it's a lot more like, you know, there's Mass on Sunday, and then you can be involved and do other stuff, but it's not like part of your. It's not part of the schedule.
Would you go so far as to say it's in fact frowned upon?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, gotcha. Like they're like, Doug, you're being too distracted by the women.
No.
Like you need to focus more.
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
Okay.
But it you know, it does suit me a little bit because I like to spend time by myself and really like be introspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
just self-reflection.
yeah. So I mean, I like to do it my way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. People ask me all the time, like, when are you gonna, you know, why don't you meet somebody at church? Why don't you, you know,
just
find?
marry one of them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's not, you know, I don't.
You're already in a church. You can marry them right there.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Like just raise your hand and be like, excuse me, I'm ready now.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah.
But you never really you never connected with somebody.
Not in church. To me, it's not a very romantic place. It's kind of doing other stuff there, and yeah,
Man.
not talking to people around me very much. Mostly just praying by myself and focusing on what the priest is saying, that sort of thing.
A man of focus.
Yeah,
True. That's his
Focus.
task. He needs to get it done. No time to celebrate.
Korean Christians
Yeah,
have
dude.
a very bad rap.
Yeah.
In fact, there used to be a thing where like guys who have nothing to do with the religion, in fact, they just go to churches
Just to meet girls.
just to meet girls. Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I've heard you guys talk about that.
I've never done it.
No, you just went to Korean school.
Yeah. But I would never do that in a church. Can you imagine? That's gross. That's
So it's crazy. If I recall, your wife is Christian. Oh,
She is. Well, I didn't meet
you're-
her there.
Oh wait, but you're not Christian.
Oh man, you should
Oh.
have seen all the Christian guys. They're so mad I poached one of them.
Oh, yo.
I did mean to ask. You dropped in the group chat a couple of weeks ago that all the girls here are 10s.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're all 10s.
Like they're super hot?
So earlier you made you said she's a 10 but she won't let me eat Taco Bell.
Right.
What did you mean by she's a 10?
I mean, I just meant in general. Like,
Yeah, I just mean in general.
Yeah, but no, I meant like if she's a 10, like you want to lock her down. Yeah.
That's what you meant?
Yeah. That's
she's
what
a 10
anyone
on
means.
on a scale from
Yeah, 10 to
1
10. Why would you lose that? You want to lock her down immediately. So,
So you don't think married women can be 10s?
no, because they're married. You're asking me she's a 10, but she's married? And you think I'd say...
Wait,
that's,
isn't your wife a 10, but she's married?
Oh, damn. Yeah, but look at Doug. He's like, she's a 10, but she's married.
She's
and
an
he
11.
expects me to still say... What nonsense is that? Yeah. But anyway, so you said they're all 10, so...
We can dive into that next time.
Yeah.
But I think we got to a pretty good spot. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks,
Episode
Doug.
4.
Yeah.
Who do you think we should have on next week?
Next week, probably the person that almost went on this week.
Who was that?